It's June and this is the Library Roadshow. On the show today, the millage continuation, music, and summer reading. Welcome to the June edition of the Library Roadshow. I'm Mary Stein, and this is a production of your East Baton Rouge Parish Library System. I'm happy to report that Train Day and the Fix-It Fair were both great successes in May, and we are already planning for next year. If you want to see what you missed, photos are on our Facebook page. The library staff is completely geared up for summer with Plant a Seed, Read, this year's Summer Reading Challenge. We've scheduled hundreds of free programs scattered around the parish, set up the actual reading challenges for each age group, laid in the incentives, and even created a new passport and map for the return of the Lender Challenge to visit all 15 library locations. We'll hear more about that in a moment. But it's not all fun and games. The next Small Business Engine series covers how to use AI to help market your business. And we've also scheduled some AI workshops for adults. All that goes with the on-demand classes and workshops that are always available via LinkedIn Learning and Udemy in the digital library. And keeping it digital, you can now bring in those old VHS tapes and convert them to digital at the library. And folks are still dropping off their old computers and other digital devices for the monthly collection by the Capital Area Corporate Recycling Council. They've already picked up over a ton. That's over 2,500 pounds that did not get put in the landfill. We've also scheduled a virtual online book club for those whose busy schedules prevent them from popping into a library in person. The Scotlandville Branch Library's renovation is almost complete. I am delighted to tell you that we now have floors, so bookshelves cannot be far behind. We'd like to move back sometime in July, but that all depends on furniture arrivals. Fingers are crossed. I'm also happy to announce that our architects for the Baker Branch renovation expansion project have shared 2 design concepts for folks to look at. We met with residents of Baker in person in May to go over the details, and the concepts are still posted on the Baker Branch Construction Info Guide, found on the Capital Improvements page of the library's website, ebrpl.com. You can still send us your comments or ideas for consideration, because just as with all of our other projects, renovation is a joint venture with all the members of the community. Even the kids have helped design our other branches. These projects and all other long-range improvements are funded by the library's long-standing pay-as-you-go capital improvements plan with no bonds, no borrowing, no indebtedness. This is completely funded by the library's 10-year dedicated tax millage, and that tax millage expired in December 2025. Without that millage, there is no other funding for the library. A simple, straightforward millage continuation proposal is coming before you this month. At 9.5 mils, it's a lower tax rate than you've paid in the last 30 years, and that's even including 2 rollbacks over the next 10 years. The library will keep the entire allocation, which will be used to operate all locations, purchase all the books and materials, and fund the capital improvements plan for the next 10 years. This millage continuation is on the ballot on June 27th, and early voting starts on June 12th. When you go into the voting booth, voters will be asked a very simple question: shall there be a library? And you will vote either yes or no. Until that time, library advocates are out and about waving signs and maybe even wearing some book hats. And we're still coming to local branches for informational in-person meetings. All the details are online at ebrpl.com/millage. In today's digital age, our connection to other people matters more than ever. And sharing a letter with a family member or a mentor or a teacher codifies that connection in a very special way. But a blank sheet of paper can be intimidating or even terrifying to so many people. The library connects you to an online resource that literally guides you through each step in the process. Let's find out more in the digital download.
EBRPL is delighted to partner with Legacy Letter to offer their online platform to our patrons. What's a legacy letter? A legacy letter is a heartfelt, intentional letter that communicates your love, values, and guidance to the people who matter most. It's the letter they'll keep in a drawer, pull out on the hard days, and carry with them forever. You don't need to be a writer, you just need the willingness to speak from your heart. The program is rooted in the founder's own transformative experience of receiving a final letter from his father just before his unexpected death, driving the mission to help others avoid leaving those most important words unsaid. On the Legacy Letter platform, you'll receive all the necessary tools and support to complete your letter, a custom Legacy Letter template to personalize, and access to live or on-demand workshops. A Legacy Letter is something you can write and give to a loved one at any time. You'll find Legacy Letter in the digital library at ebrpl.com.
The very act of writing such a letter with thoughtfulness and intentionality can be cathartic for the writer as well as the reader. I've written a few letters myself and intend to write more. Let's shift gears now and go beyond the stacks.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Chris McNeil. I'm the president of the Baton Rouge Concert Band. We are here today at our annual Memorial Day concert. We're happy to have everyone. Due to the weather, we kind of had to move it inside as opposed to outside, but we're really looking forward to the concert today. We have a number of selections prepared, a number of patriotic themes, many by John Philip Sousa, as many other composers as well. So again, it's going to be a great time, and we're really looking forward to doing the concert. So the Baton Rouge Concert Band, we are beginning our 50th year. Which is, people a lot of times don't realize that is actually a very big accomplishment. Most concert bands, I don't think, make it that long. So we're actually beginning our 50th year, started in 1976, and we continue that tradition today. Our wish today is just to expose people to obviously some patriotic music, and really just kind of put them in the spirit and really remind them of what this day is about. And through our music selections, to really commemorate Memorial Day and pay tribute to those who really gave the ultimate sacrifice for our freedom. Well, obviously we're going to start off with the Star Spangled Banner. We start there. Armed Forces Salute is always a fan favorite, as well as the famous Stars and Stripes Forever by John Philip Sousa, and several other marches and pieces that we selected. So we enjoy doing these concerts for the community. We're very fortunate that the library is giving us this space to perform these concerts. We do not only this concert, but we have a spring concert. Our July 4th concert is coming up on July 4th, as well as we have a fall concert that we do here every year. So the library, we're very grateful for, again, the library allowing us to be here. And especially today, they've really made special accommodations given the weather for us. So again, we're just incredibly appreciative.
Our community recently gathered for a moving Memorial Day concert presented by the Baton Rouge Concert Band to honor the brave men and women of the armed forces who made the ultimate sacrifice for our country. Families, veterans, and community members came together for an evening filled with patriotic music, reflection, and remembrance as we paid tribute to our fallen heroes and thanked them for their service to our country. Stay right there. After the break, Tara Deering of Children's Services joins me for a chat right here on the Library Roadshow.
Free entertainment is good for us all. That's why we make ebooks and audiobooks available for free through the Libby app. Grant unlimited access to streaming music and video through Freegal, Canopy, and Classica. Get a library card.
Put the keys down, Kevin.
But I'm gonna drive home.
There are several warning signs present that you shouldn't be driving.
I guess I have really been looking for love in this dating app. Yep, I'm definitely gonna call a ride home.
You're watching the June edition of the Library Roadshow, everything you need to know about your local library system. Each summer, we pull out all the stops with fabulous programs, highlighting resources and incentives to keep folks reading, especially the kids. Children's Coordinator Tara Deering has the responsibility of managing this system-wide effort. All right, Tara, why does it matter? Don't kids need a break once school is over?
A lot of people think that the break is wonderful, and it is. But one of the things that we concentrate on is trying to keep those kids from getting stuck in the summer slide. Because that summer slide can really be bad for them when they go back to school next school year.
They will have lost.
Exactly. They will have lost some of those skills that they gained in the previous school year. So by reading throughout the summer, that keeps those skills sharp, even if it's just for a few minutes a day.
And in the old days, we used to say, read 10 books and get your prize. But that is not the answer.
That's not.
To build a culture of reading in the home and to keep those skills going, you have to do a constant drip.
Yes.
In a way, think about you're learning how to dribble. You don't just dribble for 10 hours and say you're done. You dribble a little bit every day.
Yeah.
So let's dribble this.
That's right. We got to keep those sharp skills.
Okay, so we also used to call it a summer reading club or summer reading program, and then people thought it was a program they had to attend.
Right.
It's not the case.
Nope.
So you gamified it to make it so much more obvious that we want you to be constantly in the game.
It is now called a summer reading challenge.
Okay.
Because it is a challenge. You're challenging yourself to read every week, to continue that reading throughout the summer. And in response, we are offering weekly drawings
incentives
as an incentive
to
keep that reading going throughout the summer.
And does it matter what you read?
No.
So there's no test.
There's no test. There's no expectation of, oh, you have to reach this number of points. They can read whatever entertains them, whatever they're interested in, and we will be more than happy to help them find the right book.
So if they want to read about beans, they read about beans. If they want to read about bears, they read about bears.
Exactly.
We just don't care as long as they keep reading.
Keep reading.
And does it matter if you're reading or listening to a book or reading in Tumble Books Online?
No, the actual format of how they read does not matter, because audiobooks are just as important as actual physical books for those kids that are trying to keep those skills sharp. Those audiobooks are helping to keep them open to the learning skills like communication and how the cadence of reading, how to read, how to express.
And especially for a struggling reader, having someone who knows how to pronounce these words that maybe you're unfamiliar with helps build confidence.
It does.
And you even have some programs where it's kind of like what do you call it, a wonder book, where it reads and makes the sounds. It reads out loud to you while you're looking at the book.
Yes.
And we have that online as well.
We do.
So lots of different ways to play. Now, how do you sign up?
Very easy. So if you are computer savvy and would like to get online and go to our Beanstack website, they can sign up there at ebrpl.beanstack.org, or they can also come in and sign up with us. And if they would just like to keep it on paper, we have the paper logs option as well.
So many ways to play.
So many ways.
Now, there's a theme every year. And this year, the theme, I do love it, plant a seed, read.
Yes.
Because, you know, we've been in the plant world all year with our One Book, One Community, with the seed libraries, and I love the design here. And you've explained that that's the bad seed and the good egg.
Yes.
Because there are books about the bad seed and the good egg.
Yes.
But you don't have to... You don't have to read books about plants. Read books about whatever you want.
Anything you want.
But the programs, what kind of programs have you got planned?
We have so many programs. We have one of the new favorites around town is the Louisiana Snake ID group. Oh, they love it.
I've worn a snake.
Yes. So they will be at all of the libraries this summer, with the exception of Scotlandville, since we're still trying to get that one up and going. But but we will have it, that one. We have 2 different ballet groups going around to different libraries. We also have our Professor Universe back.
He's so fun.
Yes, and he is going to be solving the carbon conundrum. So he's great. The kids love him.
Yeah,
and of
he's
course,
like a wackadoodle professor. Yes,
exactly.
I love him.
And of course, summer wouldn't be summer without Harvey Rabbit.
We have
and
to have
friends.
Harvey Rabbit. We have to have
Yes.
Lady Chops, Tim the Magician,
Yes.
all
So,
the friends.
All the friends.
They're coming in.
Yes.
So, in fact, it's hundreds and hundreds of programs.
Yes.
And how do you, even the teenagers have programs too. Escape rooms, cool careers, teen film camps. There's STEMmy stuff for all ages.
Yes.
And it's all in the newsletter, and
Yes.
it's all online. And you even have some special news.
We have some special ones just for the kids, so they can pick up the individual branch calendars, or they can also pick up the group sort of large performer program booklet.
Yes. So that's an important point, because sometimes a parent will say, well, my kid's in a summer camp. They're going to miss out. They're not going to miss out.
No.
You have things planned on the weekends. We have things planned all week.
Yes.
And of course, there's online opportunities as well.
And I would say between children's and teens, we have well more than 300 programs during the 9 weeks of summer.
That's right. And one of my favorite things is the big programs don't only come to the main library. We share them around the parish.
Yes, we do.
All right. So remember, families will find out more by checking out in person, online, call a friend. It's all there. Thanks, Tara. Now remember, there is a summer reading challenge for each age group, including teens and adults. We all earn incentives. Programs and events are listed on the library's website, ebrpl.com, in the online calendar of events, and in the source, and even through these special flyers and calendars for teens and kids. So start reading today. After the break, author Patsy Burdine. Stay with us.
Access to data is good for us all. That's why we provide free access to Data Axle reference solutions so you can find employment through job search, gather industry information to guide your business insights, get a library card.
Our next guest is author and motivational speaker Patsy Burdine, known for her encouraging message of healing, self-awareness, and personal growth. Through her writing and speaking, Patsy helps people recognize the emotional triggers that can hold them back and teaches them how to overcome those challenges with confidence and purpose. Her book, Stop Letting Your Triggers Terrorize You, focuses on identifying the thoughts, experiences, and emotions that negatively impact our daily lives, while offering practical tools to help readers take control of their emotions and find peace. Hi, Patsy. Welcome to the show. How'd you get your start as an author?
So I call myself an accidental author. I'm a very creative person, but I've been in business management and direct sales for 25 years. So being an author wasn't really something I'd honestly thought of until I adopted this adorable little French bulldog who was diagnosed with a very short lifespan, unfortunately. But full out every day, and I thought, oh my gosh, I have to share this with other people. So the first book I wrote was a children's book. I didn't have a clue what I was doing, but that's how I got started as an author, and it poured out on paper, and I figured out the rest as it came.
Now, what is this book about?
Stop Letting Your Triggers Terrorize You is kind of an instruction manual, very fun instruction manual for how to handle the reactive moments in your life by being able to change your thoughts. I like to say if you can change a thought, you can change anything. So I used our other dog, Stella, apparently I like to use pets, and share the things that she reacts to help teach the reader the really complex subject of mindset management, but in a really approachable and fun way so they learn quickly. And I think most importantly, the book gives concrete solutions and tools to use and apply over and over again.
What inspired you to write the book?
Over the years in business, I've learned so much about how important it is to be aware of what you're thinking because it drives everything. Every thought you have determines every decision you make. And I created these tools for myself to use to help me manage that. So I knew that one day I'd want to share that. I would need to share that with other people. But despite all the notes I had, it just wasn't coming out on paper. It just wasn't coming together. So during the beginning of the pandemic last year, I had, just like everyone, more time on my hands. And I was working with our dog, Stella, on some of that training, how to deal with things that she's reactive to. And that's when it hit me that I could use Stella to explain this very complicated material. So I guess she's what really inspired me to finally get this on paper and now into other people's hands.
What advice would you give to another aspiring author?
Well, being a quick 30 to 40-minute read, I'm hoping to actually finish it, unlike so many books I have on my shelf. But what I really hope that each reader gets is that they can change anything in their life, that they really can get a handle on how the brain works and that they're in control of it and can change any outcome they want.
Where can our viewers learn more about you and your work?
They can visit our site at playtalltoday.com. They can get free downloads there and learn all about what we do. And of course, they can follow us on Facebook at Play Tall Today.
Patsy, thanks so much for joining us today and for sharing your heart, your story, and the powerful message behind your book, Stop Letting Your Triggers Terrorize You. And to our patrons, don't forget, you can check out Patsy's book on Libby and learn more about her inspiring work for yourself. The 9th annual Baton Rouge Soul Food Festival brought the community together for an entire weekend filled with amazing food, live music, and family fun. Let's take a look.
I'm Henry Turner Jr., and I am the festival producer and founder. I am known as a music business entrepreneur. I'm a person that works on music business projects and make great festivals and parties and stuff happen. What you got at a Soul Food Festival is cultural and ethnic vendors, and that's all based around the culture of soul food. And remember, soul food was originally an African-American food that turned international. Everybody loves soul food. It basically started with food that people threw away, they didn't want. And like innards and livers and kidneys and all kinds of stuff. The African-American community took that food and turned it into something really delicious to eat, like chitlins and hog maws and pigtails and ears and, lips and, all that kind of stuff. And just basically built a delicatessen out of, nothing. So that's basically what we're celebrating. We're celebrating that in the Baton Rouge community. And of course, we're partnering up with the library. We love the fact that there's a space and a place to do it. And it's a neutral spot for all races and ethnicities. We love that. And that's what we're doing here. And the music reflects the same, like where did blues come from? Where did soul come from? Where did gospel come from? It all derived from the same place. Came out of slavery into freedom and into creative culture. So that's basically what we're doing. With soul food, remember, it's a unique culture. It's one of those things that you do not want to absolutely miss. You don't want to not taste soul food. So if I were you and I lived in this community and I had somebody like Henry Turner Jr. preserving the soul food culture, I would be so wild about just getting out there, tasting the food, listening to the music, having a good time, and preserving the culture. Because remember, once it's gone, it's gone. You remember, we started this in the 1940s and 50s with soul food in America, and by 1985, soul food was gone. It was disappeared. We were told it wasn't any good for us. You couldn't eat it. You couldn't drink the stuff that came with it. It was just horrible for your health. Only for it to be repackaged and given back to us in the 90s in gas stations and little shops and pop-up things along the highway and stuff like that. So that's what soul food is all about. So if I was you, I'd be thinking about that when I'm thinking about soul food.
What a delicious celebration of food, music, and community at this year's Baton Rouge Soul Food Festival. And the rain did not get us down. Festival goers enjoyed live entertainment from talented local and regional artists, delicious Southern favorites, and friendly competition from some of the best cooks in the region. Events like this continue to showcase the rich culture and community spirit that make the Baton Rouge area so special. Stay right there. You're watching the Library Roadshow.
There's so many rewards in life. You coming into our home was one of the greatest rewards we could have ever had.
You're watching the June edition of the Library Roadshow, a production of your East Baton Rouge Parish Library System. Children and families came together at the end of May for a fun-filled celebration to kick off this year's summer reading program with the East Baton Rouge Parish Library. We had games, activities, music, and plenty of excitement. The event encouraged young readers to dive into great books and enjoy a summer full of learning and adventure.
I am Tara Deering. I'm the Children's Services Coordinator for East Baton Rouge Parish Library, and today we are having our summer reading kickoff. Today's program is from 10 o'clock until 1 p.m. this afternoon, and today they can come to the main library and experience all sorts of different crafts and activities brought to you by local vendors and organizations from all around the parish. We also have our wonderful Lady Chops performance at 10 and again at 12, and a magic show from Tim the Magician at 11 o'clock. Tim will also be doing walking magic before and after his show. And we have lots of face painting and balloon twisting and just fun for all. I am hoping that everyone is inspired to visit the library throughout the summer, that they get pre-registered for our summer reading challenge, and that they're ready to read throughout the summer. We really want to help to prevent that summer slide and encourage them to just keep those skills sharp throughout the summer so that they can start the new school year strong.
Events like this help inspire a love of books, learning, and imagination for young readers all across our community. And now for today's contest. Visit the library's Facebook page at facebook.com/EBRPL. Whether it's on my bedside nightstand, piled up next to the sofa, or on my digital bookshelf in Libby, I've already got lists of stacks of books that are ready to be read this summer. What books are on your TBR list? That's facebook.com/EBRPL, and while you're there, enjoy. We're not your grandfather's library anymore. What's coming up on the Library Roadshow next month? Independence Day in America 250, of course, and maybe a sneak peek of the almost completed Scotlandville Branch Library. Thanks so much for joining us on the Library Roadshow, and remember, your East Baton Rouge Parish Library is open 7 days a week at each and every one of 15 branches, plus 24/7 on the web. Check us out at ebrpl.com.